I tested 6 hypervelocity 22 long rifle rounds a while ago with these results, but there were 2 types that I wanted to test but I could not get my hands on at the time. They were the new at the time CCI Uppercuts and the old school Remington Yellowjackets. By the way, hypervelocity rounds are defined as trading bullet mass for higher velocities. So most hypervelocity bullets are in the low 30s in weight and travel faster than 1400 feet per second. These fit the bill by weighing in at 33 grains, and the box says it'll travel at 1500 feet per second. I like the old school packaging technique. Probably saves money that way too. By the way, these cost around 13 cents a piece, which is pretty reasonable for hypervelocity rounds. They have brass cases and a little rim stamped on the bottom. Features on the bullet are a little wad cutter edge on the bullet, so that should cut a nice clean hole in paper targets. And there's even a little tiny hollow point, which should put good holes in more squishy targets. Next, we have a new round made by CCI called the Uppercut. The box says it has a 32 grain bullet that is only moving at 950 feet per second. But that was tested from a short barrel. These are unique in that they have a true jacketed bullet. I don't believe any other 22 long rifle can say that. These are marketed for self-defense for pistol-length barrels. Saying that, this might be tuned with fast-burning powders that might not be optimum for a rifle. They have a nickel-plated body with a really nice-looking jacketed hollow point. Here it is side by side with the Yellowjacket. Price-wise, these are going to cost a little bit less than $1 each. Next up are the Stangers. Now thankfully I am bilingual and can read Appalachian. This translates to CCI Stingers. I have tested the Stingers before, and these should be identical other than being written in a different language. These are 32 grains, and the box says that they will get up to 1640 feet per second. The body is nickel-plated and has a little hollow point, especially compared to the Uppercut here. They do differ from the standard Stingers by being stamped 22 on the bottom. These are named after the Tennessee trick shooter 22 Plankster, of course. Price-wise, these will run you about 17 cents a piece. Last on this list is the CCI Mini Mags. These are not really hypervelocity at all, but they will give us something to compare to. This should represent a quality high-velocity round. It is heavier and slower at 36 grains, and it's going 1260 feet per second according to the box. It has a brass body and a small hollow point, especially compared to the Uppercut on the left. Cost about 11 cents a piece. I did notice that the Yellowjackets and the Mini Mags have shorter bodies and longer bullets than the Stangers, Stingers, and Uppercuts, so this might affect match-grade rifles. To stay consistent, we're going to continue to use the 16-inch Henry rifle. 1200. 1209. Another error. 1184. 1185. 1204. 1169. Error. 1647. 1630. 1596. 1697. Alright, here's the Uppercuts. 1413. 1395. 1404. 1441. 1450. 1448. Alright, here's the Yellowjackets. 1349. 1365. 1339. 1394. 1399. 1362. The Mini Mags didn't quite make the velocity listed on the box, but it made up for it by being pretty consistent. The ballistic energy seems respectable for a high velocity round, but it'll look weak compared to the remaining hypervelocity ones. The Uppercuts definitely outperformed the short barrel 950 feet per second listed on the box, but compared to other hypervelocity rounds, it is near the bottom of the list. So I guess these are tuned for pistol lengths, and I imagine it would outshine the other rounds listed in shorter barrels. Consistency-wise, it was about mid-pack. By the way, I'll post the full list at the end of this video. The old school Yellowjackets were introduced somewhere around 1979, but performance-wise were very close to the new Uppercuts. They underperformed from the velocity listed on the box, and like the Uppercuts, they were at the bottom of the list in ballistic energy and about mid-pack in consistency. On the plus side, they were pretty inexpensive. The Stingers are also old school, originally listed for sale in about 1977, and I think they were the very first hypervelocity 22LR. These Stangers are supposed to be identical to the Stingers. The Stangers nearly matched the stated velocity, while consistency was tolerable. But what really shocked me was the ballistic energy. The Stangers were considerably faster and more powerful than the Stingers that I tested earlier. I don't know if these Stangers were overperforming or the Stingers that I tested earlier were underperforming. The Stangers matched the velocity written on the box, so I'll guess the latter. The main takeaway is now the Gila Super Maximums have a real challenger now. I guess I'll have to take the top contenders and test them all on the same day so we will have some true apples to apples comparisons. If you know of a stout 22 long rifle that's not on the list, leave a comment down below. Maybe I can find it. Thanks for watching.